Okay, so welcome to the first part of this course, everyone. Here, I'm going to be right from the beginning, as soon as we open FL Studio, telling you what you can see, what you can do, how it works, from the left to the right, and the menu at the top. And it looks quite confusing. There are so many buttons at the top and so on, but I will let you know what all of them are. So first of all, the main part of this screen that you can see, the biggest area right here, uh, you see it's the playlist. Now this area is where you will arrange your track, your final track. Everything that you want to hear in your song will be put here in this big area. And you can see there are multiple tracks here, track 1, track 2, track 3, and so on. And here you can put different sounds. Similar to if you have experience with video editing, you can layer different videos, and it's very similar with music. You can layer different sounds here. So you maybe want some drums and the guitar, you can put them maybe here, and they will play at the same time, like that. Okay, and beside the playlist we have these patterns, pattern area. And this is this button right here, we can view our patterns, or here we can rename our pattern. We can do many different options right here, you can read yourself, but we'll get into that later. So let's say we are on pattern 1 right now, and here if we go to this button, view channel rack, or we can press F6 and this opens the channel rack here. And here you can see your different patterns. So currently we know we are on pattern 1 as it's highlighted in green. We can see in pattern 1 what's here. We have a sampler, which is nothing, it's just an example really, or you can use it to mess around and to edit with. These different patterns we can put anywhere into our playlist. So when the song plays, we would be able to hear what's happening from each pattern here. Okay, so next up would be the menu at the top here. So first we have File. This is typical of any file system you will see in different software. You can open projects, you can create new ones, new from template. I made a podcast one here, so something like this you can create. You can save your projects, and we see shortcuts on the side here, if it has a shortcut to do this in FL Studio. So we can save the project as something, save it as the same name, or a new version, save as templates. And when you save your project as a template, it will go to here, new from template, like my podcast one did. Then we have imports. We can import MIDI files, which we will talk about more later on. And then export here, which you see is to when you have a finished project or a finished file, and or even sound, it could be anything, and you want to export it as an audio file or video file possibly, or even a looped package in a zip package, then you can do all of these options here. So if you finish your song in the playlist, then you can export as WAV file, and it will give you some options. And WAV file is the most popular, most common when you release your song on some platform like Spotify or Apple Music or even YouTube. But you can use MP3, is also popular for YouTube and SoundCloud, but I would recommend WAV for the others. Okay. And below we see some of my recent projects. So these are just some things that I was working on and creating. We see I even recorded some podcasts here and some different track ideas and names. And then we see more as one other thing that I did, one other project. Okay, so yeah. And then we have edits right here. And edits is not really important as it just has these shortcuts which most people know, and this is just to do some things related to your selection. So you see I'm on pattern 1. If I press copy and then I go to paste, nothing will happen, but if I go here, I believe it should paste another. No, maybe not. So this is not so convenient of a way. I would just put the pattern somewhere, or click on it and use Control C and Control V to, as you can see, paste. I'm not too sure why the menu didn't do it there, but yeah. So Control C, Control V is the best way to do it. You can come here for some things that you have selected, or cut also. But yeah, not very useful, I think, this one. Then add, we have all of the plugins here. So these plugins are different software, synthesizers, different sounds that you can add to your project. So an example, I added one here, let's remove it. So if yeah, also I'm on the channel rack, which I showed you before. So we go to add, and we add something like, yeah, this same one I will use. And this is a keyboard, and you can change many settings here. It looks quite confusing, but simply you can even click on these different notes here, and you see it will make a sound, or you can use your keyboard if you are using a standard keyboard. That's just me pressing the keys, like the letters on my keyboard, B, V, C, X, Z, so on. Yeah, or you can press multiple to make chords, like this. Okay, so that's add. It will add something to your channel rack. Okay, let's see. And then next we have patterns. Yeah, patterns are what we saw already, these patterns here. I don't really like using this menu. I much prefer to right click on pattern, or right click, oh no, I can't in this area, right click on pattern, or up here left click and see some different options on this one here, or right click here, and this plus sign will add a new pattern. So we could call it anything. It will be pattern 2, or we can call it drums, for example. Yeah, so we see here is pattern 2. Pattern 1 changed to drums. Pattern 2 can be, I don't know, piano, something like this, and you can see we can make many. So yeah, pattern menu is not so useful, I think, at the top. Then view, we can change the view of things. So example, the mixer is F9, or we can left click here, it will open the mixer. We can click again, left click, and it will close the mixer, or we press F9 and it will open and close. So view is just everything you can see, how you want it arranged, so it can improve your workflow, or you know, if you don't like the way it is right now, you can change it. And that's simply it. We can also drag some different sections here, as you can see, to arrange how it is. Okay. And then next we have options. Here will be all of your options for FL Studio. So you see also some shortcuts here. You can just click them and experiment, because nothing bad will happen. You can simply go back to options, unclick, right, and then you'll see that it's back to normal. So yeah, then we have some manage plugins, which are these are all plugins which I mentioned before. File settings, general settings. General can be just how everything looks, your technical audio settings, the language. Yeah, we have a theme too, which will change the theme of this, the whole thing. I might go with a new theme for this, I think. Like, yeah, maybe we will go with a new theme. Or maybe I'll stay with the default, just so it's easier to see. Okay, so that's fine. Then tools. So in tools we have a few different options, which I think most of them I never use, to be honest. But I do use this one, last tweaked, and next to last tweaked, which I will get into. Sometimes this is necessary to use for certain plugins to make some edits and do some things. And then finally we have help right here. And help, as it says, you need help with something, you can find it here. Even tutorials they have for some different things if you're not sure. Yeah, okay. And then next to this menu we have a main volume, we have a pitch, change the pitch of your song position. So if we went to song here, this, there is no point actually in using this, I would say, I never use this. Let's say we put a few things in here. Yeah, I you see it will change, but there is no point doing this, as you can just click right here on these numbers and this will change your song position too. So I think this is only useful if you have a really long project maybe and you want to go through to the end quickly, could be. But apart from that, I never use it. I would just click here, or you can drag to with this at the top. Then next we have a song, and this is a play, a pause or stop, and then a record button, the tempo of your song, a metronome which will create this sound. And to play this playlist, as I just did, you use your spacebar on your keyboard and it will start playing through the song as we have song selected. If we have pattern selected, it will not play here, it will play in your pattern, which is this one selected here, piano. And remember to find pattern is F6 or the channel rack. So we see here, it's playing, but there is nothing here, right? We don't have any sounds here, so it's just playing this metronome sound. And we can unclick this and it will play nothing when we use spacebar. Okay. Then we have a few other options here, which we will have to get into as they are part of different sections. So you know there are quite a few options here you could explore right now once you get into this at the beginning. But we will talk about many of these. Again, some of them I don't use, like undo I don't use, as there is a different way, a quicker way using the shortcuts to undo your last step or the last few steps. We have a tempo tapper, we have open the plugin picker, which you see like this. You can choose your plugins this way. We have generators and effects, which are two different types, and we will also talk about that. But this way I also don't really use. I prefer the add, or I will show you later on. Okay, so the final part that we have in this introduction is about this menu on the side right here. So we have a few different options. You can see current project. This will show you some things about your current project, what you have in it, like the generators we see. This is a generator, this sampler. Patterns, we don't have any patterns. History, you can reset some things that you edited before. And we have remote control. These, again, right now we don't need to get into. So that's about your current project. We have recent files, files you've opened, used, right here, that you can reopen again very easily. Plugin database, you have your effects, which would be, we will go into effects, what they are, but they can change your sounds, and change your whatever you put here in your channel rack or in your playlist, but effects go in the mixer, and we haven't really talked about the mixer, which can be opened here with F9 or just clicking on here, and you can put your effects on your different sounds on the side. Okay, but we will talk about that later. That's fine. Plugin presets also we'll go into. A few other options you can check out yourself. Some scores, which if you have history of music knowledge or making music, especially in a classical setting, you'll know what scores are. But if not, it's really not important. So to make music on the computer anyway. And then we have a few things here. Backup, but again, you can really you should just experiment yourself and see what things are here and what suits you, what things are going to be useful for you. Demo projects, these are projects created by you might have them or you might have different ones depending what version you have, but you can open these demo projects by right clicking and open, and it will create a whole new, I will do this for the sake of to show you. So this one by Asher Postman, I like a few of his songs too. And this will create a full track that he made, and you can listen to it right here. You can see all of the different things that he did in this project, and experiment with it. And this is a great way to learn, I would say, by using these demo projects. I used to use them a lot to learn what people did. Yeah, so keep that in mind throughout this whole whole course. So if we give this a play, let me mute myself and give it a play. So you can see here it's not a full song, but it's the build up and a drop for a song. So, and it's a future bass, this is the genre, so this is also a great way to learn the structure of a song and things like that. Then we have envelopes, really I would say not too important. FLPs, this is my projects right here. So in this section you can also import, if you add certain folders to FL Studios, you can see at the top, it's difficult to show what I mean in this hint panel right here. If I go here, FLPs, you can see that the folder path at the top where it is, and you can import these into your menu. So if you have some folder of sounds, a folder of your projects, and you want to easily access them right here, you can do it. And do it from I believe it would be in file settings, yeah, right here, and then you can add your different folders, whatever sounds you have, and you see all the different ones I've included right here, so I use these. Okay, that's fine. Let me just, oh no, that's no problem. So a few more, these MIDIs, these are mine. Another folder that I included, my projects. I don't have this folder, or it can't open right here, but these are where my projects are. We have sounds, which I imported myself, splice folder, splice, I will talk about that also. So yeah, pretty much you can see you will have these ones, miscellaneous, I believe, packs has all different type of drum sounds to get you started. And you see even some vocals. I'm not sure if these are included, I think so.
Don't stop.
Yeah, something like this, right? And you can play the different sounds by simply left-clicking them.
Baby.
Okay. And these sounds can be added to your playlist by simply dragging. So let's say you wanted this sound. You drag it right here, drag it anywhere. You can left-click and hold and move it around. And this would play the sound with the song, for example, like that. Okay, and I deleted it by right-clicking. Right-click will remove this from your playlist. Okay, so yeah, I would say that's pretty much it for the introduction. Yeah, this is the interface. There is not too much else. I think when you break it down, it can be pretty simple.